I think we're gonna have to start talking about DJI. So we haven't done much DJI in the shop for some time.
Yes.
But there's some very interesting releases. The FPV combo is one of those.
So this is the first time they brought out an FPV drone as such. I guess it's on the racing design side because it's quite compact. So it's about the same size as a Mavic, but a Mavic in that it's designed to be compact and easy to carry for traveling and the traveling type of photography. This is actually designed more like freestyle
kind of flying.
Yeah. So you might notice that sometimes on YouTube and such, or different videos, you see the really elegant sort of flying behind cars and such. Right. Something that you can't do with a Mavic. I mean, Mavic you can maneuver,
it's quick, but
it's not going to look as dynamic.
That's right. So, for those who don't know, DJI is pretty much a leading manufacturer. One of the first that brought into the market the drones for photography.
Yes.
So they started with the Phantoms back maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I don't know. About then, I guess.
Yeah,
Phantom must have been 7 years ago, roughly. Yes. And then eventually they evolved into the Mavics, which was the first generation of portable kind of drones. So you could fold the arms.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you put them in a small bag. So when you travel, you could actually have a drone, that fits in a space like so. And then once it's fully open, it's a proper size drone. And you could fly, a few kilometers away.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. And last year or the year before, 2019, they released the goggles.
Yes.
Actually, they were the first kind of attempt for DJI to get into a more racing kind of FPV market.
Yes, that's right. So the goggles are actually a game changer because of the technology.
That's right.
So they're a full digital system.
Absolutely. Yep. So they start transforming this kind of FPV, more traditional FPV kind of market, and now they come with this, which is really interesting in my opinion.
Yes.
Probably not dedicated to the hardcore racing, but it's that next step for us, normal kind of more amateurs actually.
Well, that's right. I mean, even though we've gotten into all the technical aspects of all the different parts of radio control, sometimes it's nice to have a package like this, which you just put away and you switch it on, and it's already preset and off you go. I guess it's a bit like a camera. You want your camera to just work when you need it to. Yeah.
And that's what it is, really. I mean, it removes the challenge of learning to fly these high power racing drones, which I've tried, and it's a challenge. Takes a long time.
Yeah.
But this one still gives you a similar feel and ability to be quite nimble and perhaps learn step by step. You have the full kind of beginner mode.
Yes.
And then you have 3 steps from what I understand. There's a beginner, intermediate, and fully freestyle mode.
Yes.
The freestyle mode goes up to 150 k's an hour or so.
Yes. I mean, it's got really plenty of power. Yeah.
Really fast. So very, very interesting product. Shall we look at inside the box?
Yeah, let's crack it open. Yep, I think so.
I think we had a knife here somewhere.
Did we? I can find a knife. Yeah, there was one here, wasn't there?
There was one here.
Oh, there it is.
You see it?
There we go. Yep.
All right, let's open this up.
Yeah, so when you're talking about all the competition FPV stuff, that can be really technical because there's so many different motors, prop combinations, flight controllers, cameras, frames, a whole lot.
Everything.
And quite often, that's very much maker type world, I guess, where you're teaching yourself. You can't necessarily get any help from anyone else because they may not have exactly the same combination as you. Because you might have different speed controllers, for example. And then there's all these different setups. So with this, you know that the whole package works immediately straight out of the box.
In my opinion, also the building. So when you have a traditional freestyle or even racing drone, you need to assemble. So it's up to you, really. So you need to solder, and the soldering is actually quite complex because it's all very, very fine. If you have a drop of solder,
I think it's childproof.
Yes, it is.
Have I cut the wrong side?
Maybe. I think we need to remove the full. It's a live unboxing. All right. Oh, no, it's here. This side here. There's a seal there.
There you go. So there you go.
And so when you prepare a proper FPV drone, there's lots of soldering, lots of skills involved in that, and there's a lot of risk. Yes. There's a risk of actually reverse polarity or damage something. So in this case, we remove all this kind of problems. And it's a modular system, so when you crash it, you can replace specific parts. You can buy the arms, you can buy the motor. So it's quite modular, and you can still repair it. So very interesting perspective. I guess there'll be the first of many, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it's really good that they've actually done something like this.
That's right.
Because it's all very refined.
Absolutely.
And they've got all the expertise in doing all this other stuff, like making larger drones fly and such. That, let's see.
This is very sealed.
Oh,
This is going to come off. I think you cut the wrong side again. It's a very interesting box.
Oh, there you go. All right. So the whole lot's coming off now.
I think so.
And
That's
we're
it.
spinning it over here.
All right, we've got a plan.
All right, now I know what I'm doing. Okay, so there's more seals over here.
So lots of seals. We also have received, for those that are interested in photography, the new Ronin. It's something a bit new for us, but we use those gimbals actually for our video that we do week in, week out. And so this is the new Ronin RS2, which is an evolution of the old Ronin, the previous Ronin.
It's got
and
a few...
it's got some crazy features. So we may have a look at that later on in another show. But
it's much beefier, isn't it?
Yeah, but videoing your hobby is becoming a lot more popular. So if you are keen on that, these kind of tools are like a game changer.
Gives a very pro effect, just as that stability.
So it's the best. So
all these are hollow carbon
fiber.
Yep,
absolutely. So
and this one's big enough to carry some DSLRs. So
big cameras. So I think this is up to over 5 kg.
Yep,
payload, something like that. Even bigger. So it's a big camera with big zoom lenses. And this have facial recognition, so you can track your face. So this little part here will have the ability of coordinating all this kind of control. So the camera they can control and follow faces. So you can actually self-record yourself. So you can put the gimbal in front of you, and then as you move throughout a room or a space, the gimbal follows you.
Wow, clever.
Lots of interesting features. You can attach your phone here to see what you're recording.
Yep.
Obviously, lots of other features.
It's got the motorized function here for doing the follow focus.
Follow focus, that's right.
And it creates its own Wi-Fi network.
That's right. So lots of interesting features here. So
nice.
Have we found a way to open this box?
Oh, this is open.
This is open.
Yeah,
Right,
it's good. Yep. Okay. So.
All right.
So pay more attention than I did.
So there we go.
So we'll crack it open. There we go. Right. Wow. So immediately you'll see that's the drone itself here. So it's all in one piece. Very heavy duty engineering type plastic. Okay. And then here you've got the headset for the digital goggles. So being digital, the advantage of digital is you have a very, very clean image.
Absolutely. HD, high definition.
Because if you've never tried FPV before, then analog, it's very fast reacting. So you see pretty close to what the camera's seen. Problem being is the footage come back is quite often garbled.
Yes.
So you'll see a lot of movement and noise, and quite often you're flying by the seat of your pants because you don't really know what you're going. But with digital, it's so clear that you actually can see where you're going, which helps a lot, particularly if you're going to be using this for filming.
Absolutely.
Because you want to be able to see exactly what you're going to be putting in the frame.
So the quality is really high. You can actually record what you see in the goggle, which is going to be really interesting.
Yep.
And here's the unit.
So I might shift that over.
Yeah, let's move this box
move this across here. Do this. All right. So this is the front end that you see here with the camera cover. So it comes with this molded camera cover for transport. So you take that off like so.
That's your little 4K camera.
And there's your camera in the little gimbal. Okay, so it's actually quite a large lens.
Yeah.
And full 4K, which is amazing.
So this camera is what is going to transmit to your goggles.
Yes.
And so what the camera sees is what you're going to see.
Yes, and also the footage that you're
going to absolutely have.
I'd like to add for you guys, I believe you can also record 1080p at 120 FPS.
That's right, so you can do
slow
motions. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So big camera.
Yep.
What else we've got here? So you've got all your sensors actually.
Yeah. So this got front sensors and bottom sensors.
Bottom sensors.
So these it'll sense anything that's in front of the drone as you're flying. So crash avoidance. Then also you've got the bottom sensors as well for doing your landing. Yeah.
So lots of sensors, similar to a Mavic, where you have all these features to prevent crashing.
Yes.
Even when you have the return on function, you always needed to be careful that if you were flying around the building, and then you press the return on function, the drone will follow the shortest route back
Yes.
home. But in this case, you don't have that problem. It's gonna avoid the buildings,
Yes,
or
that's right.
trees for a matter of
That's
fact,
right.
and things like that. So
Yeah.
very interesting features, really.
So it is quite compact. I mean, it looks chunky. So it's chunky for a good reason, because a lot of the racing type drones, they're just raw frames. So they don't have any bodywork. But everything is enclosed, so you don't have any loose wiring that you may see from a traditional racing drone.
Yes.
It's also got all the room for all this sensor gear. And then also it's got the room there for a full gimbal. So a lot of racing drones don't have a gimbal.
No.
The other good thing about the gimbal, while we're talking about it, is it's got 3 settings that you can control from your controller. So you can have it with the camera facing straight, like it is here, or you can have it facing down, so you can see
where you're landing, perhaps, or something.
or taking off, or if you want to do like a plane photography on top of a building or such. And then there's also a angled version, which is like this, I think.
For when you're flying really fast.
That's right, when you're doing your 150 kilometers an hour. Okay, so you can imagine you're going to be flying like this.
So it's quite interesting. So when this type of quads do fly fast, they tend to tilt forward considerably.
Yes, that's right.
And so they're almost not vertical, but they have a quite of steep angles. So you need to be able to move your lens forward.
Yes.
So you can actually see where you're going.
That's right.
Otherwise, you'll be pointing pretty much downwards.
And you'll probably notice that with the angle that's already built into
That's right.
The prop angle. So this is its natural sitting position. And then you can see how the extra thrust here is actually pulling it forward, and it's going to be flying along,
right.
and you can fly like this angle here.
That's right.
Really clever.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And then predominantly at the back, so this whole section at the back here is an integral battery. So this is a 6L, 2000 milliamp hour. So that's actually a very high capacity, which allows this to have a flight time roughly 3 times longer than your standard sort of racing drone.
Yeah. That's impressive.
So I was going to pull out the battery, but can't remember how it goes. I think it's just out here.
I think you need to pull that part and
then unlock it.
Yes.
Like so.
That's a big battery. It's actually almost bigger than the kind of
Well,
drone itself.
you compare it to the rest of the drone. So obviously, yeah, that's a huge battery.
That's right.
It's going to give huge power, the 6L.
That's
massive power. And then the 2000 milliamp hours. And that's where you're getting your flight time from. Okay, so yeah, nice and protected too, because hard case, lithium polymer battery. So
that's right. So the weight in the drone itself is mostly in the battery.
That's right. This is the heaviest part.
So that's the heaviest part.
Yep.
I don't know the exact weight of this. Be around 1 kilo, I would say. We can pull up the specs that we have. We got it listed on the website, so there will be the specs there, but it will be 600 grams to 1 kilo. I would say probably more 1 kilo, almost.
Yeah. It's also got the quick release props.
Yeah, quick release prop. They're quite nice, and they're quite tiny too. Actually, the props are not huge.
Yeah, they're only about this big.
That's right.
Yeah.
You will have your prop guards as well, and all that. So, what else we have there? So, got the
well,
goggles.
I guess the next thing would be the goggles, which are
less sparkly,
which are very, Viper helicopter type. So, quite thick,
beautiful.
but even though they look thick and chunky, they're actually quite streamlined, I think, compared to some other goggles.
That's right.
That are on the market.
And so my understanding is that the goggle will display quite a bit of information about the drone. There'll be information about battery, about flight conditions, and all that.
Yes.
And you can actually record what you actually see with all these kind of parameters.
Yes.
So it does offer 2 types of recording. So you record what the camera see, which is what you're going to use for your kind of editing, if anything.
Yep.
But you can also have the kind of goggle recording, which is quite cool, really typical kind of military type jet kind of view.
Yes.
It's going to be quite exciting. So if you're into editing and videoing, that could be quite nice.
Yes.
Change of perspective.
Yep. And just on the inside there, you can also see how you can adjust the angle of the or the width of the eyes, because everyone's got different eye spacing. And then you got some ventilation here, because as you imagine, this is quite a nice neoprene rubber, so it's a full seal, so you don't get any light leakage. But with that, quite often you get
really sweaty.
Yeah, that's right. So you got a ventilation there to keep it all cool, and it also stops the fogging up of the lenses inside.
You can also connect your phone to HDMI or USB-C, and then you can actually transmit the live view on the phone. So it's It's quite interesting.
It's got a slot there for a micro SD card.
Micro SD, yeah, for recording.
Over here you've got
Maybe audio.
headphones.
Headphones, yeah.
And then that'll be power.
This is to adjust your lenses,
Yep.
the position of the...
So you can see that as see these sliders here. So as I move those, you see the lenses moving back and forth. Okay, so they're independent there, as you can see. So you can get those perfectly adjusted to your eye spacing. And then towards the front, you've got your standard sort of plugs there for your aerials. So aerials will go on. So there's 4 there. And then you've got your switches here for all your controls. So you've got on a switch.
Recording and so forth,
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's the package. So
And then
let's
you
see
need a
what else we
controller.
got.
Some other is a controller as well.
Yep, so let's move that.
Aha, here it is.
There's a controller.
Your antennas up here.
Yep, so
go.
that folds forward. Yep, so you see the antenna moving there. Like so, so that's stowed, spring loaded, up forward. You see the gimbals here, they don't have the sticks because the sticks are actually mounted in the sides. So I won't pull those out because they're sealed in. So that's to help with packaging.
That's
so if
right.
you stick it in your camera bag, you don't want the sticks.
No, you can
Dang
break
on
them or
anything.
whatsoever, and
That's
this
right.
way you can undo them and put
Yep.
them away.
That's right.
Wow.
And you just screw them in. And so you've got your power button, you've got a function key.
Yep.
There's this little hoop here. So if you want to put a neck strap.
That's right.
Yep. And then you've got your other recording functions. And
change
camera
fly mode.
angles. Yep.
So go to different modes.
Yep. Pause.
Pose.
Yep. And then there's a not too sure what that is. There's a
Dial.
dial jog
Yeah.
button there.
There'll be
You
quite
got
a few
three
things you
selections.
can set up based on what you're trying to do, the different type of offline style and so forth.
And then you
That's
got
your
your
charging port, I
Yep,
guess.
that's right.
Yeah.
A USB port for charging.
Interesting, it's a different grey, so you've got quite a dark grey here and then a bit of a lighter grey there.
But it's nice neutral tones.
Nice, very nice neutral tones. So, and so here is your kit.
Yes. I guess the other thing that we can't really show you is when you switch it on, all these are actually very bright
Yes.
lights. And they blink in different fashions with different colours.
Yes.
So the good thing about it is because they're different colours, you actually use it for orientation. So from the back, the combination of lights looks totally different from the side, and from the front, and from upside down as well.
That's
so
right.
because when you're flying these and you're flying them quite quickly, sometimes you want to see if you're using first person,
Yep.
sort of what direction it's going,
That's
or
right.
if someone's watching it, they want to know which way it's going.
It's going, absolutely.
Yep.
Very good.
So very neat package.
Very neat package,
Yep.
yeah.
And this is brand spanking new. It's very impressive.
Definitely. So it's been in the market for only a few weeks,
Yep.
and there's some really good reviews. There's some good pals that have been flying these already. Even in freestyle and almost racing mode, we have a couple of videos of guys flying these really quick in a kind of race type layout, and definitely capable. So very versatile unit. And give
Really,
us-
really interesting alien look to it.
Absolutely.
I like it.
I agree. The design is brilliant. Very good.
That's cool. Yeah, that was nice. That was exciting.
Definitely. So that's exciting from DJI. So we're very, very, very happy to see DJI back in store with a good product that definitely fit our customer base very much. Which makes the photography side of things with the actual hobby, flying experience.
It's a nice little compact package that fits into a bag very easily.
That's right. Absolutely. Still
Yep.
quite tiny, actually. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. So
So I guess the only other things we haven't looked at, well, there's a set of propellers.
yes.
So there's the A type and the B type because they're counter rotating.
Yep.
There's the power supply for charging the batteries. The goggle batteries in here.
Yep.
Then we've got the body. There's another top body for it. We've got the goggle antennas in a box. The headband for around the back. The strap. There's a cable, which will be a USB cable for various things. And then the manuals, of course.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice package.
Very good.
Wow. That was nice, wasn't it?
Are you gonna fly this one?
Fly it. Am I allowed to?
I don't know.
Oh.
I
Well,
don't
when
know.
you're not looking,
Maybe.
it might be outside.
Maybe. We could definitely. I'd love to have a go at this actually. So. Okay, so we've got quite a few DJI things. We showed the gimbal just a minute ago.
Yep.
We may talk about the gimbals at some point. I think it'll be quite interesting conversation. Let us know in the comments if you're interested on seeing some of the gimbals and camera apps. We could do a special show next week and display some of these things. But definitely, this is one of my new favorite toys at the moment. It's quite impressive what you can do with this. When you even go to a racetrack or rock crawling, perhaps you can do some really nice videoing of your trucks.